The Marketing Funnel Strategy Show. More leads. More sales. More predictability.
Introducing Jared Hyman, sales and marketing expert. Introducing Serena Carley, marketing and outsourcing expert.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Strategy Show for today. Super excited for today's episode. Here with the lovely Serena, all the way from Bali. How are you today, Serena?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much. I got a little bit taken when you put that music countdown thing on first off. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, I said you had to be live, and then live came up.
Yep.
Hi, guys.
I found a way to make everyone quiet in the background while I go live now, and it's to put that little, intro thing in. It's fantastic.
Good idea.
Awesome. So we're super excited. We've got today's interview here live. We've got Harvey Lynch, who's also based here in Western Australia. He's he's quite a well-known consultant over here in Western Australia. We're super excited to have him on talking today around how to double your business in 90 days or less as well. How are you doing today, Harvey?
Very well, thanks, Jared. Thanks for having me on, mate. And hello to everyone out there today. How are you going, Serena?
I'm going pretty good, thanks, especially now you're here, mate.
It's great to be here, guys.
100%. So for those people who don't know you, Harvey, yet, can you just give them a quick intro to you, who you are, and a little bit about yourself? That'd be great.
Sure, mate, sure. So, Jared, I'm based down south here in WA. It's a great part of the world, I'm sure you'd agree. But essentially I help small business owners improve their profitability in their business by developing and helping implement strategies from systemization to profit increasing strategies, lead generation, sales conversions, all that type of stuff, which I guess we'll go into a bit later. But at the end of the day, improving profits in their business, which is essentially the number one reason why we're in business, is to solve problems and make a profit out of doing it. So that's in a nutshell exactly what I do. But I think overall, though, it comes down to understanding why we're in business as well. And it's, I guess you could call me a consultant / coach, because nowadays a lot of business owners I talk to need that helping hand, I guess, in understanding what they've gotten themselves into if they're starting out in business, but also understanding what their business is about as far as an investment vehicle for them to be able to improve, grow their wealth long term as well.
Love that. And I love your whole methodology and what you talk about as well, and I want to unpack that a little bit today. And I know one of your main headlines, which is what we've got here, you've got how to double your business in 90 days or less, right? Tell me about that. Is that possible? Can any business, like let's say if they're doing a couple of mil a year or whatever, could they double? And how quickly could something like that be done?
Yeah, look, mate, when we talk about doubling your business, it comes down to profits and because really it doesn't matter if you double your revenue. If you're not making profits out of that, then what's the point in the first place, right? There's many business owners that would say they have a massive successful business, but when we look at the finer details of it, it's really not churning out the profits it should be in the equivalent of the growth in revenue. And so when we talk about doubling business, it really comes down to doubling profitability. And when we look at the areas that we can optimize in a business by just making small improvements in all of those areas that I'll go into shortly, it is quite amazing how quickly a business can actually either be turned around or go that next level because they now understand all these different drivers that operate in their business. A lot of business owners just probably know of one or two of them, right? And I think that's how we grow our business, when it's not entirely the case. It's a matter of, educating business owners about all these different levers that they can pull in their business. And and after that, it's just up to them to implement and take action on all these different levers and strategies and methods of growing profitability, mate. And things can really, really evolve quickly for a business owner.
Okay, great. And we're talking drivers. What do you mean by drivers? Just because I want to kind of simplify this for a lot of people that are here today. What do you mean by drivers or levers, like pulling a lever? Like, is it the same as like starting a lawnmower, right? Like you just pull a lever to start the lawnmower, so to speak? Or what do we mean by this?
Sure, mate. So any action or say if you implement a strategy in a business, if that strategy has the outcome of driving profits, then that's one of the levers we're talking about. So I'll give you an idea. So we work on 7 different levers we can pull in a business to drive profits, right? The first one is lead generation. So something you would know a lot about, Jared, and we've just had many conversations about this. Is generating more inquiries for your product or service, right? After that comes conversions, so sales conversions of those leads. So if we can improve, your conversions of those leads into paying customers, well, that there drives profits as well. After that, we've got a number of transactions per year. So like if you're doing 1 or 2 transactions per year, what are some strategies we can use to actually develop more transactions, have that client coming back to spend more money with you throughout the year? That could be as simple as bringing on another product line or cross-selling something else that you can offer. Another one is improving the transaction size, right? So you may sell a product or a service for a certain amount of money. Well, what are some ways we can actually increase that transaction amount every time every time the client actually purchases from you? And that can be as simple as a product add-on or something like that, to say, would you like fries with that, is the classic example we hear of regularly these days with fast food outlets, right? It's just a little add-on, but it increases the transaction size. So if you're doing a lot of volume in a business, well, that small increase in transaction translates to a lot of profit on the bottom line. Another area is as simple as referral generation. So unlike lead generation and getting new clients through lead generation, we can develop referral systems in a business. Now, I would like to distinguish the difference between referrals and general word of mouth business, or hope marketing is what I term it as. So using your existing customer base, developing a strategy where we implement it just like a system. So if we execute this strategy on, say, every third customer we deal with, how many new clients can we generate out of that using that strategy off that one sale, right? So if we create a system like that, then we're able to rapidly increase the amount of profits our business generates through new business based off that one referral. So quite often you can turn one client into 3 or 4 just by executing a referral type strategy. So another one, Jared, is customer lifetime value, right? So how long can we hang on to a client for, right? At the end of the day, we want a customer for life, don't we? So we look at ways, okay, well, how long is a customer hanging around for now? Can we extend that lifetime, that they stay with us for the lifetime they have the need for our product or our service, right? So that's a huge one as well. And I can do an exercise with you that'll show you, just by increasing, a client lifetime by 1 year, how much impact that can have on the lifetime or the profits made over that journey as well. It can be quite staggering. And then the final one, mate, is profit margins. So we can look at what margins you're making on your product or your service right now, and determine, well, okay, how can we build on some fat here? How can we look into what margins you're doing, go through your P&Ls, your statements, and have a look at where can we cut costs? Where can we, do something as simple as increase prices? Do we know our competitors well enough to see what they're charging? All those types of stuff to pull that profit lever there in just improving your margins. It's quite simple. So pretty sure I've touched on the 7 there, mate. So they're the levers we're talking about when we're generating extra profits in a business. Now, if you think about it, just by increasing any one of those areas by, a mere 5 or 10%, it can add up significantly over the term. Depending on how long a term you're basing it for, it can be massive amount of dollars on your bottom line and in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm. That's great, man. I mean, in terms of a business as well, like when you look at a business, there's 7 different ones to pull. How do you kind of know which one you should pull first, right? Because, we've got accountants, we've got bookkeepers, we've got people like that are looking over the numbers every single day. And, do they probably give us the right advice on what to pull from that? I don't know, depending on the advice you're getting, obviously. But, then there's lead generation, there's referral systems, there's all these different, little areas. How would you know which one to pull first? Is there a thing that you look at? Is there something you look for? Or
Sure, mate. So the number one thing when sitting down with a client is to what I call baselining the business. So we go right through all of those 7 areas. We get down to the finer details of knowing exactly what our numbers are, and then what those numbers are actually telling us, right? So when we understand those numbers, we can then go, okay, well, we're deficient in these areas here, right? So, for example, if it's your conversion rate is not that good, so you're not that good at sales. However, to turn that around, we can say, well, what's going to give us the greatest impact in the shortest amount of time here? Because obviously the client, or what I've found is when a client comes to us, they are really needing results fast. Hence why they've picked up the phone or they've reached out. Okay, so what's going to give us the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time? And they may already be doing well in certain areas, right? But they're just not so well in others. So it really, first of all, comes down to, okay, let's look at exactly what's going on with the numbers with this business, baseline it, and then from there we're able to, the business is actually telling us what areas we can focus on first that have the highest priority, that will get the biggest results or the quickest gains in the shortest amount of time. And hence why, when we start implementing strategies, how quickly a business can grow or can be turned around by implementing those priority areas, right?
Interesting. I know, Serena, because you've run a lot of businesses and so on in the past. Do you have some maybe questions for Harvey, maybe some things that's come up from you in terms of, I guess, sort of what we've been speaking about so far that you think could be beneficial for people?
I've just been sharing. So the first thing that sort of came up for me was, obviously, for someone to double their business, I started to think about the different types of businesses that were out there, from e-commerce even right up to big coaching businesses, high ticket price businesses, and then, of course, obviously maybe small price ticket purchases as well. So a lot of people use words of, tripling, doubling, and all that sort of stuff. What sort of businesses that it may be very difficult to do the double with, if at all? So if you've got $1 million business, for example, can they double it within 90 days as opposed to, say, a business that makes $10,000 a month, just as a sample?
Yeah, sure. So let's take the example of, like, if we're talking about, say, the automotive industry, right? And you've got a company like Toyota. Well, they need customers and clients just like the guy that's doing $10,000 a month, just like he needs customers and clients. It's just on a different scale, a different level, right? So the same principles apply to a company that level, that size, that significance, as it does to a business that is, probably not quite a startup, but just a little a business that is starting get the runs on the board for themselves. Exactly the same principles apply. It just really, at the end of the day, comes down to what's going to give the greatest impact on that business as far as improving profitability, Serena. Does that make sense?
It does, but I just sort of think about people. A lot of people know a lot of this stuff, and yet they don't seem to be implementing it to be able to see that, because a lot of people would say, oh, yeah, it's easy to say something like that, but, I've been trying this and I've been trying that, and everybody tries what everybody else is trying. What makes it so different that you can say, well, we know this works because, well,
The runs are on the board, yeah. So, Jared, we had a discussion recently about strategies and about taking action on strategies and having deadlines to those strategies. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Serena, but I think what you're probably getting at to is business owners know a certain amount of stuff. And yes, they can say, oh, I do know that. But there's also a certain element there that they don't know what they don't know as well. And the issue comes up when a business owner can say, well, okay, I've dabbled in that area. I've tried that out. I've had a crack at it, right? But the issue lies with just exactly that. They've just had a crack at it. And if it hasn't, if they don't have any result, well, they've got nothing to improve on or measure their results against. So they say, well, it was bloody hard to get, one client. It's not really working for me. So you've got to make a start. You've got to take action on a strategy, right? Then you've got to get a result for that strategy, and then you've got to determine, well, okay, how do I improve this? What areas of this can I work on to improve this so that it increases my profitability more? Okay, because if you just have a crack at something and you get a substandard result, and then you give up on that strategy, well, then it was hardly worth starting in the first place. It's a bit like learning how to crawl and then walk as babies, as young children, Serena. If we gave up after our first fall, then we wouldn't get far in life, would we?
So they definitely have to put the effort in as well to make it happen. But obviously also take on board the extra information that they're not utilising to make it happen in the first place. Yes, they may have a little bit of that knowledge, but they may not have the whole lot that sort of is able to take it even further. So if what would you say if I threw out a challenge to you to say, how about doubling our business in 90 days?
Certainly. Well, first of all, challenge.
Sorry.
Let's have a go.
We're documented as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it out to everybody. Oops.
Dobbed us in. Love it.
Same principles apply, Serena. That's where we go. First of all, we'd have a look at the numbers first and go from there. Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, whatever we do has got to be based around driving profit, because there's no point in having a lot of revenue coming in if a lot of that's walking out at the same time. I'm sure you'd agree.
Yeah, and you said before that you were going to actually show us something, so I thought we were about to get you famous on your whiteboard.
On my whiteboard, yeah, well, would you believe it or not, I did a quick tidy up and put everything outside, and there went my texter. But what I can do is I can actually share my screen, and I can show you a here we go.
Oh, cool.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Not at all.
No, we can't.
I'm on. Let me get out of full screen. That might be right.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Okay.
Numbers.
I'm hoping the viewers can see. Hoping the viewers can see this. Okay.
Yeah, they can see it now.
Yes, they can, because I'm watching it on the other screen as well.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just look, for example, a business with. So we're just looking on the left-hand side here, guys, and you'll see here we've got annual number of leads, conversion ratio, number of transactions, the 7 profit drivers that I spoke about earlier. So let's just say, for an example, we've got a business sitting at the $720,000 level, around about that. So a business that is probably at a stage where they're in real need to start implementing systems into their business, right? Because it could be a business owner that's sort of maxed out right now. They need help in implementing systems and around these 7 profit drivers in their business. And Jared, look, correct me if any of these numbers seem out of term. These are already saved in here from before. But look, they've got an annual amount of leads coming in of around 4,000 leads, a typical business, a conversion ratio currently of 30%. So out of every 10 leads coming in, they're getting just over 3 customers. Number of new customers for the year, that equates to 1,200 new customers. And let's just say that they transacted with that client twice per year, and the average transaction amount is roughly $300. So we could probably say this is your typical mechanical business, I guess, at an average transaction value of around $300. A profit margin of 50%. Well, probably I'm not sure if mechanics would be around the 50% mark. Annual number of referrals, just the 1 referral there. Conversion ratio on those referrals as well. So let's just say, Jared, that if this business owner got you on board to start looking at how do I generate more leads, and we came up with a system that just increased his lead generation by 10%, right? Just by 10%.
Not much, very small amount.
Not a lot, but just by 10% to be conservative. And then we started looking at, okay, well, now we're getting the leads coming in. Let's start looking at your sales process and really, do an audit on your complete sales process from the start to till they sign the dotted line. And let's just say out of that, if we did some training or if we rejigged the entire sales process, we're able to increase those conversions by 10% there, okay? Taking it to 40%. Now we looked at, say, the number of transactions per year. So we looked at, so if it's a mechanic and he, serviced a vehicle twice per year, well, what if we come up with an offer to be able to service, a second vehicle for, a better deal on a second car, and we actually had another transaction off the same client. So let's just say, we just got a 10% increase there. Let's take it a bit higher. So we'll go to 30%, that'll do. And then we decided to pull another lever in the business and we started looking at the value. So if out of 1 service for that mechanic was bringing in $300, how about we perhaps put some tyres on the car as well, something like that, and increase the transaction value whilst that vehicle was there. Let's just say 10% on that. Okay. And then we pulled another lever and we looked at the margins in the business. And if we went line by line through his P&Ls, his bank statements, and got to the bottom of all the incomings and outgoings and looked at areas where we could improve, and we managed to increase the margin there by even just 5%, say. And then we developed, a system around referrals. So if we used his current client list, his current customers that were coming into his business, and we developed a system around generating more clients using his current clients. And you know what the beauty about using your existing clients is that they actually bring in more of the same type of client. I'm sure a lot of people have had clients that are very hard to deal with. Well, if you developed a referral system around your better type clients, well, they're likely to bring more of the same type of better type clients. So, and we did that, and we increased his referrals by, I've got some referral systems that can, 500% improve referrals new clients coming in. But let's just say we increased it by 30%. The conversion ratio, that's probably a little bit low on the first one there, but it's generally conversions of referrals because that you've already leveraging the trust of an existing client. We could probably take that to up to about 70% if we worked on how the execution of this strategy, right? So already from this this business that was existing before we started implementing strategies in it, it was doing a top line of $720,000 and an annual profit of $360,000. But now you can look at the results we've actually generated just by small improvements in all of these areas, guys. The level of actual profit now has more than doubled, right? It's more than doubled to $831,000. Now, these are just numbers and figures, right? But you can see, you said yourself, Jared, that 10% is quite low in lead generation. And in fact, most business owners will look at this and go, hey, that's the only way to get business is get more new clients. We've got to market, sell. And they probably concentrate just on these top two levers, right? But look at all these other areas in the business we can actually uncover and drive profit from, and there's your bottom line result there. So we've got a massive improvement in profit there, which generally when I show clients this, it blows their socks off, and they say, "When can we get started?" So I'll stop sharing and we can have a chat about that.
Well,
look, I know why you wear a suit now too, because you're really the figures man. That was just like mind blowing what you just showed then. And I know since we got involved with you, I think we 30% times on our transaction. So seeing it put like that now just takes a whole new spin on it. Full stop, doesn't it, Jared?
It does. I don't know why I get excited about those things either. And I'm not I love details, but I'm not a details guy. I'm like a runner, Blaze genius, which we were all talking about last night, right? Like, so I'm a runner, I'm a deal maker, I'm a supporter and making things happen, right? So I don't even know why I got excited about that, but I don't know. Close ratios is me, right? I see, wow, like a 5% close ratio increase. Wow, that makes such a huge difference, like I got this little funny feeling inside where, you get those buzzers coming on the inside and you're like, whoa, this is great.
I'm just going to say, you got that feeling.
But
there you go.
Just like, because I want to give some people here a little bit of a snapshot as well that are watching live or watching the recording of this. If you're getting some value from this session so far, I just want you guys to type value into the comments. Let us know. Let Harvey know that, hey, you're doing the right thing. I'm loving this. This is good content, that type of stuff that you can actually sort of see what can really be done with this type of thing. So type value into the comments. Let us know that you're getting value from it. Number two, I want to give people a bit of a snapshot. We've got hold of ads accounts in the past, and we've been able to halve the lead generation costs per lead, literally halve. So Harvey's given an example of, what happens with a 5% increase, right? If that was to be halved, like we've done with many ads accounts, where, they might have been paying 30, 40, 50 a lead, and we've been able to literally bring that down to like, 10, 15, 20 a lead, like halved what they've done. If you see exactly what's happening there with that spreadsheet that Harvey showed you, you'd be able to more than double your business in just a 90-day period by pulling just that lever alone. That's without a different close ratio. That's without a different, anything, right? To better the bottom line. Thanks for that. I think everyone's going to find that of huge value, man.
Yeah, no problems. So it's it really is, and you spoke about lead gen and conversions before. Well, a big part that every sales process should have is a dramatic demonstration, and that was a dramatic demonstration that I actually just showed just now. A part of it's actually part of my sales process, showing clients actually how we can help them by actually helping them using that spreadsheet like that. So, like you say, if you got a tingle out of it, then you can imagine what if we were plugging your own numbers in, what could be actually done with your business, Jared and Serena, by just implementing and pulling those levers. And on top of that, right? On top of pulling levers to drive profits in a business. I touched on systemization of a business before, implementing systems into a business. So, if a business owner's at that $1 million mark or roundabouts where they've sort of hit a virtual wall where they're like, hell, I'm maxed out here as a business owner, and we start implementing systems into a business. Well, that's kind of like almost like the eighth lever, right? Because what that does is that actually when we put systems into a business, it drives the value of that business through the roof as well. Because now you've got a business that's running under management rather than relying on you being there for the day-to-day. And just think how attractive that is to an investor or someone that doesn't know anything about, swinging a spanner or anything, so to speak. It's very, very attractive to them. So, that there improves the value of the business as well, which at the end of the day is going to go towards your long-term wealth for yourself personally.
So, like you're talking about now, investors and different things like that as well. Like, I know when we talk exit strategies of a business, right? Like having some type of exit strategy or overarching strategic plan of what your business is going to become, right? Or a vision of what it's going to become. I mean, selling's one element to it. Can you talk a little bit about that maybe as well? Like, exit strategies and things that people, if some people are looking to sell their business down the track, maybe in like a 3 to 5 year period, like, what should they be doing? What should they be focusing on? And what's your thoughts around that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, it's the end game in mind. We've got to start with the end in mind. And what we term that is when we're talking about systems in a business is breaking the business up into 4 separate parts when it comes to the end game in mind, but as well as implementing systems. And what those 4 parts are is first of all guiding the business. So the business owner needs to concentrate on the overall vision for that company. What is the end game, right? Are we going to sell this business one day, or is this a legacy I want to pass on to my family? What's that end game there? Then we've got another area of getting the business, which is one of the most important areas of a business as well is marketing and sales. So that's what we term getting the business. Another area is doing the business. So they're all your operations systems, if you like. We start developing systems in their operations side of the business. Now, that, by the way, is an area where most business owners start out, right? They've gone and perhaps got a trade or a certificate working for someone else when they were younger, or they've gone to university to learn a high-paying skill, and then they've decided to just jump into the world of business for themselves, knowing just that one area of the business, right? But there's these other areas that all I guess interlink with each other that requires a certain level of skill set in itself, right? So that there becomes one of the main problems a lot of businesses struggle. And then the final area is running the business, which is all your admin, the bookwork and all that type of the business as well, making sure invoices are sent and bills are paid and all that sort of thing. So that's what we do is we start with the end game in mind, then we look at those 4 areas of the business. We start looking at developing systems in all of those different areas. Now, this is an ongoing process in itself because systems are always improving and amending to make everything work better in a business. But the overall outlook of that business is one day we get to a point where now our business is running or being run under systems and run under management rather than relying on people all the time to actually get stuff done. So it's relying on systems now rather than people. That's not without saying people aren't the most important part in a business. Human capital is the number one thing, but it's more based around the systems now, the processes in a business rather than just relying on the people.
Mm-hmm. So systems and processes is the main thing, right? Apart from, the people, people that are working with you. They're the most important parts, you would say.
Sure. So, I mean, let's look at McDonald's, for example. You can get a McDonald's burger anywhere on the planet and it'll taste exactly the same way, right? like shit, in my opinion. but no, the reason it tastes exactly the same is because it's been cooked and developed on a production line under a system, right? And an investor doesn't need to know how to flip burgers. He just needs to know that system works, and that system, if he knows it works, that has value to him if it's spitting out profits. So that's the end game. That ideally, if you're looking to sell a business, that's what you want your business operating like at the end of the day. And what I would recommend, if any viewers are looking at developing systems in their businesses, first of all, grab a copy of this little book, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, because that talks about the challenges that business owners have faced when they first decide to get into the business and why those challenges exist. And then it starts talking about why these successful companies operate and rely on their processes in their business rather than the people doing all the heavy lifting. It's actually the systems and the process doing the heavy lifting for them. So that book there is a good read for those that want to understand more about that area of the business.
Yeah.
I've got that book. I'll just let you in on a little secret too. McDonald's tastes a little bit different in Bali and Philippines. Different oil. Cheap oil.
Fantastic.
Just a little tidbit from me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, look, it's been great having you on here today, Harvey, as well. It's been incredibly valuable for everyone that has attended. Tell me, like, if someone was like, I'm loving what you're putting down, man, and that spreadsheet just blew my mind as to what can really happen if I was to use one of these levers in my business. If someone was looking for some help, where would they go? What would they do? Who would they reach out to? How would they get you?
Sure, mate. So easiest way is to head over to harveylynch.com, harvey.lynch, harveylynch.com. And that's a copy of my digital business card where they can get some free stuff, free reports there, free guides, resources to be able to help in these areas. And also, if you want to chat further, there's a spot there to jump on, give me a call, or even send me an email to say, hey, I'd love to talk more about those 7 drivers or systems in my business, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you to see if and how I can help you in those areas.
That's awesome, man. I love that. So there you heard it, guys. Head across to www.harveylynch.com. Go across, grab access to some of the free resources there. I know you've got a book. Have you got a copy of your book there as well, man?
Sure, mate. So across there you can grab a copy of my little pocket book, so Business Success Secrets Handbook. Talk all in there about the 7 profit drivers in a business and a way to massively improve profitability in a business as well. Touches on the stories about McDonald's and systems in a business, all the stuff that's probably not so sexy to business owners, but it's pretty sexy when you read this book. So if you want a copy of it, you can grab that over there as well.
Yeah, well, it seems pretty sexy to me, and Serena's the one that kind of,
the guy on the front cover, you mean? Or?
Pardon, sorry?
The guy on the front cover, you mean?
Yeah, I know. He's something else, that guy, So you guys should all, that are watching here live or watching the replay, just for the picture on the front, you should be buying it, right? So...
And Serena's the one that what?
Serena's the one that likes all the sexy stuff. She sexifies things, right?
I do sexify things, it doesn't matter what it is. You have to make it sexy,
Yeah.
But I don't mean sexy using sexy words. Sorry.
Yeah, you can actually get that book for free over there from that site. You just got to pay a little bit on the postage to get it to you. So the book's there, and I'd love to send you a copy so you can grab it over there. No problems at all.
Over to me. Is that what you were saying then? The sexy Sari.
Yeah.
I just want to say as well too, it's really interesting. A lot of people watch things like this because everybody's chasing the double the business and all that sort of stuff. But seriously, you know, you can look and say, oh, we want this, and they give the time and they listen. But then when it comes down to, like you said, taking action and implementing what you say, that doesn't happen for a lot of people, and that's why nothing happens. You know, so if you are watching this, you know, go and check out Harvey, because his little powerful numbers system there is quite sexy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
really, everyone needs a Harvey in their business, right? Because there's different. These are the different things you got to understand. Different personality types, different types of people have different behaviors, different things that they're really, really good at. And for me and Serena, right? Like, you know, Serena is a bit of a star, right? And you know, put her in the limelight, and she shines like, you know, nothing you could ever believe, right? And she's really good even with connections, connecting people, organizing things. She's a born talent at organizing, right? If you look at me, I'm more of just your front runner, take action, do some things. I come up with ideas, I'll run with it, I'll sell it. That's what I'm good at, and that's where my best in world skills are, right? And then you've got a Harvey, right, which is the guy that kind of cleans up, neatens things up, and systemizes things, because that's his best in world skill as well, is systemizing, looking at things differently, helping you implement and pull the necessary levers in order to create that exponential growth, right? So you need team in your business. There's no such thing as a self-made man, right? They've all had, or self-made woman, they've all had people around them, great people that are epic at what they do, and they have a certain skill that they are better at than the owner of the business or whatever, right? And they're basically working things in the background, right? So my suggestion to every single one of the people here is, if you're not a systems person, you reach out to Harvey. If you're not a front runner and salesperson or whatever, you got to get yourself one, right? If you're not a born organizer and everything's a mess, you need someone like Serena to help you out as well. If you haven't got leads coming into your business, you need someone that can help do that and do that prospecting for you, right? And what you'll find in 12 months' time, all these 7 levers being firing, or at least one of them or 2 of them firing, you can see a consistent amount of growth that you'll achieve on a monthly basis just by pulling them, right? So jump in, grab it. I'd suggest just grab the book first and just get a good understanding of the method and stuff like that, at least, which will cost. How much is it for shipping, man? Like nothing, right?
It's just $5 to get the shipping sorted, mate. So yeah, I think the book retails for $16.95, and you can get it for free. Just the shipping costs about just over $5, mate. So no problems at all. Right. And yeah.
I think it's Serena, just got $5 in their account right now, right? If you haven't got $5 in your account now, just go and borrow it from your mum, dad, or sister, or someone. $5, get hold of the book. It could be worth $1 million to you, right?
Totally, absolutely.
Sorry, you were saying, I cut you off there before.
Oh, no problems. Serena mentioned earlier about business owners having a crack at, having a try at things that and decided that they haven't worked. And a lot of the times it comes down to not, everyone's busy these days, right? And not having the time to go and do new things. And then you mentioned about having the right team in your business as well. So there's a correlation there, is if you don't have the time in your day or in your business, then you don't have the right team. And it's very important that those two sit side by side, really. So if you've got the right team, then you're going to have the time. And it is a matter of like looking at your business. For example, Jared, we had a discussion yesterday for one of my businesses about lead generation and sales, right? And it was, after chatting with Katie, the business partner, afterwards, it was great because it was like a fresh set of eyes on what's going on here. And it gave us a lot more clarity around our lead generation and our sales, which is fantastic because there's a hell of a lot of other stuff going on in the business, right? That's kind of very absorbing at the moment. So, talking about that and having a new team member, a new set of eyes looking on that area of the business was fantastic for us, and it's alleviated a lot, that area for us, having the right team member on board, and therefore freeing up our time to focus on other areas as well. So I'll leave you with that.
Everyone's got some nuggets. So thanks so very much for everyone for jumping on today. Now my thing is go out, actually take some action on exactly what you've learnt today. Or if you're unsure what to do, reach out to Harvey to get some action points on exactly what you must do for your business. Harvey, it's been a pleasure today. Thanks so much for, jumping on with us and sharing your knowledge with the world, because we're not paying you here for it, right? So thanks so much for sharing that openly. And, I'm super, super excited to work with you further and see you kick some serious butt as well.
No problems, Jared. Thanks for having me on, and thank you too, Serena.
Yeah, it's great seeing you again. Always love seeing you. And thanks everybody as well for watching.
Thanks everyone. Make sure you share this as well with somebody who needs to see it, as always. And just remember, if you don't fight for your own freedom, absolutely nobody else will. So every single day you must get out there. Every single day you must take action. Every single day you must make it happen. Remember to be the warrior. We'll see you on Monday's episode, 1 p.m, same time. Share this with somebody. Tag them in the comments. Speak to you soon. Cheers.